To all these religious zealots preaching their climate change agenda, why is it that every one of their climate solutions requires you and your family to sacrifice more money, more freedom, more mobility, and more opportunity for your future? You think it's just a coincidence, or you think this is a method of control, just like COVID was? So, take heed, ladies and gentlemen. Do not believe the Pied Pipers. Every single climate prediction has been wrong and has come and gone without fanfare. And all they want is your hard-earned money, and all they want is your children's future. We can look after the environment, we can look after our communities with solutions that help the people, not control and limit the people. Reject the climate change agenda. 15-minute cities is the single biggest threat to the prosperity and future growth of our Toronto. Period. It literally relegates you to a little square block, and it gives you no opportunity to own a car. It's not about convenience. When you're living in a building and all the new buildings have 5 commercial and retail at the bottom, you're expected to live in that building, work in that building, go to the gym in that building, do your laundry there, meet your friends at Starbucks, etc., etc. In other words, you're living in a prison society. I was in Oxford, England, which is one of the first examples of this society in the world. They have already divided it up into 6 districts, straight out of the Hunger Games, and each district is now misrepresented with barricades, physical, as well as cameras. It's a surveillance city, and it's about getting you to give up the way of life that you had and come into this new way of life where you have to get used to having less and less and less. And we're not going to have it. I'd just like to add that the primary purpose of a 15-minute city is not convenience. You can look it up. It's to reduce your carbon footprint. And the one way they want to do that is remove cars. And every time they take a lane where there's vehicle traffic and they turn it into a bike lane, every single small business on that street goes broke. Because now they can only get people coming from a 15-minute walk or bike ride away. So this is a way to kill small business. This is a way to transform your city into little tiny prison grids that are virtually identical with only the big box stores left standing. This is really bad, and you do not want it for your children or your future. I am intimately familiar with SOGI because I fought it in Alberta when it was implemented and took it all the way to Adriana LaGrange, the education minister. And I had mothers go into the libraries and pull out books that were available to 8-year-olds that show male-on-male prepubescent oral sex, and books about men raping their daughters. And they read this to children. Then they bring in a ginger man and show 76 genders and all these different pronouns. And they make their children as young as 4 play games where they choose their gender and choose their pronoun. And now they have laws in place that if they can convince your little son Jack that he wants to be called Jill, they'll call him her, they'll call him Jill, and they will not inform you, they will not ask for your consent. And then 6 months later, when Jill puts on a dress at your house and you're all concerned, CPS is going to be knocking at your door, wondering why you're not affirming your child's gender. This is about sexualizing children, confusing children, perverting children, so the state can become the #1 influence in their life over the parents, and parents need to stand up to this vehemently and call out these child groomers for what they are, and we need to enforce the laws that are already on the books. There is 171.1 and 171.2 against child exploitation. These are laws on the books and they need to be enforced.
Thank you. I appreciate your enthusiasm, but remember where we are. Thank you.
What's the biggest problem I'm going to have? I'm not going to have problems, because when I become mayor, I'm there to solve problems. And every single thing I try to do, I'm going to have the overwhelming majority of the people on my side. So anybody who tries to get in the way of that is just going to be run over by the will of the people. When I'm done in Toronto, my administration is going to be full of public servants, not politicians. And why do you not want to elect one of these politicians? Well, they already showed you what they'll do the last 3 years. They're not a leader. They're a boss. They want to control you. I'm out there at 3 in the mornings hammering my own signs in. People say, why? Because a leader works on the front lines. A leader doesn't worry about getting his hands dirty. And most importantly, a leader would never ask somebody to do something that they wouldn't do themselves. Every one of those politicians the last 3 years voted to lock you down, voted to close your business, voted to reduce your mobility, while they exempted themselves from every one of those restrictions. How do you trust somebody that makes rules to be and not for me? You can't. And their career politicians means they're parasites. It means they've been living off you for the last 30 plus years, and they're the root cause of every single problem in this city that I have the solution for.